What's going on, world? I go by the name of CA Revolution. CA Revolution, and this is React. This is React.
Let's go. Toe tag, body bag. You really don't see me like a hologram. I froze my account from my Instagram.
Today I want to talk to you about drive with no limits. A lot of times when we're in our vehicle, we drive to get to a certain destination. And once we get there, we're fulfilled. We feel like everything's good to go. And then we just casually, once we're done at that location, go back home. I want to use this metaphor to help push us beyond what we think our limitations are. So I want to encourage us to drive with no limitations. My philosophy is this: your drive should not be limited by your destination. So think about it like this. If your goal is to play basketball or football just because the finals are going on, let's go with basketball. If your goal is to score 20 points in that game, you want to score 20 points, and somehow you feeling it. You know, you got the hot hand and you score your 20 points in the first half. Well, where do you go from there? Do you stop trying to shoot? Do you not take any more attempts? Do you focus on assists and rebounds and defense now? No, of course not. You could be the difference between a game winner or not winning the game at all. But it's all in your drive. It's all in how you navigate your drive. So I want to encourage you again, do not let your drive determine your destination or determine your limitations. And do not allow your drive to be limited by your destination. Sometimes we need our goals to show us how much more we can accomplish. So when we accomplish, the first goal in way less time, it just shows us how much potential we have. And a lot of times that potential is untapped. Dig a little bit deeper. Once you get to where you thought your cap was, figure out how you can go higher and further than that. Which leads me to my next point. When you are setting your goals, always think about sustainability. So not only do you have a destination in mind, but once you get to that destination, you want to be able to sustain whatever it was that you worked so hard to accomplish. Hey, I want to own a home. Boom. We buy a house. Then when you move in, you never clean it. No, we clean this thing like someone's coming to see us every 2 weeks. That's the commitment that we have because we want to take care of what we have, okay? So sustainability, when you get to that goal, how do you sustain it? How do you appreciate it? How do you make it increase in value? And it's the same thing with your goals. Before I go to my next point, it's the same thing with your goals. How do you sustain your goals? When you say, I want to get this particular thing, or I want to go to this particular location, or mentally, I want to push myself to this level. Well, how are you going to continue to push yourself? How do you make that goal something that's not just a one-time hit, right? The principle of it needs to happen over and over again, and that's how you're going to get into bigger and better. Again, you can't allow your limitations to affect your drive. Not surprised that life happened. A death happened. Financial hardship happened. A divorce happened. Separation happened. Pregnancy happened. Graduation didn't happen for you the way you expected it to. Okay, listen, I don't mean to sound harsh, but this stuff happens to everyone. You're really no different. The difference between it happening to you and you making an excuse is really you still pushing forward and driving through the obstacles. Just because you're in neutral doesn't mean you go into park. Just because you're in neutral doesn't mean you go into park. Yeah, things may have slowed down, but it's okay. You don't have to stop everything just because you're not where you want it to be right now. It's perfectly fine. I could really create a whole nother React video on maturing and growing up, but this is where I think we can settle at. You can't throw a fit and quit every time you're in a traffic jam. What kind of drive is that? Just because you run into a roadblock, it doesn't mean you get out of the vehicle and start walking. Not in all cases, that doesn't make sense. And a lot of times it just takes patience and perseverance, okay? Here's another sidebar. You got to make sure you have enough gas to last through the times when you're stuck in a traffic jam. You got to make sure you have the right motivation and the right encouraging factors so that way it can pull you through your own traffic jam, your mental traffic jam, your emotional traffic jam. When you're going through things and you just hit this roadblock, again, you can't just leave the vehicle because it's not what you wanted it to be, which leads me to yet another point. You set the speed limits for your journey. If it's not your time to be in the fast lane on the highway, that's not a problem. You should be okay with that. Some people just shouldn't be in the far left lane. And I'm telling you this as an experienced driver. Just move out of the way. It's okay for you to ride the middle lane, which is a little bit slower than the fast lane and a little bit faster than the slow lane. And in all actuality, none of it is a slow lane. Some people have just become more of an expert in maneuvering around certain obstacles and roadblocks, and that's what's helped them get to the next level. Where a lot of us go wrong is we compare our vehicles trying to get to a certain destination. And that's where we go wrong. Just because this person has a Lamborghini and this person has a Toyota, it doesn't mean the Lamborghini is the best vehicle for them who's in the Toyota, just like the Toyota may not be the best vehicle for the person in the Lambo. Be okay with that. If your car will max out at 120 miles per hour, here's the reality. You're probably not trying to go 100 miles per hour. Neither do you need to try to go 120 miles per hour, right? There's a different set of equipment that each vehicle has based on the need of the driver. And you have to be okay with whatever you have. Use this journey to learn. If you need to upgrade vehicles, use this journey to learn. If you need to get over in the far right lane and then settle up on cruise control to help you coast through your journey. Because guess what? The destination is up to you. It's all about the drive. As one of my good friends would say, Conrado, he tells me all the time, enjoy the process. Make the process the reward. And if the process is the reward, when you get to the destination, you'll realize everything leading up to it was way more important than the actual accomplishment. I have one question before I wrap up and go. My question is simply this. What's stopping you from making the biggest accomplishment for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? What's stopping you from making that accomplishment happen tomorrow? Yeah, what's in your way? Think about that, and then I want you to react. Listen, this has been another episode of React. I really want to get this message out. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe, and spread this message. Spread this video all over the world. Share it with friends, family, inbox people the message. Do everything you can. Please like, subscribe, and let's get to the next React video. Thanks. Peace.
Come on, elevate, go a little higher, still got levels to go.